Hi everyone, welcome to Locating Lauren. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be talking about my own PhD experience and what that kind of looks like. You'll notice from the title, this is called the PhD Diaries. I'm going to be going through on a week-by-week basis and kind of just outlining what it is I'm going through, what it is I'm encountering, experiencing in my own journey, so that way if you're interested in pursuing a PhD or wondering what a day in the life, week in the life of a PhD student looks like, you have a good idea of what that would be. So in this video, I want to keep these kind of brief. So I'm going to go back all the way to week 0, okay, the week before classes started, which I call the overall kind of like theme of the week before is stressing and prepping for the program to start. I'm currently in my first year, and so this is just if you're about to enter into a PhD program, maybe you're about to be in the week before classes yourself as you're watching this. This will hopefully give you some insight and give you some tips on how to handle that very stressful and overwhelming week that comes before everything really kicks into gear. So without further ado, I got to Oxford, which is where the University of Mississippi is. I had to move. So I was in the teaching field before. I had left the city I was in, left the job I was at to be in this program. So that, like many people, required me to move to Oxford. I was here about 2 weeks before week 0, the week before everything started up. And in that week, we were told, don't make any plans for that week. You'll probably be expected to be on campus just about every day. So it wasn't until Tuesday I had my first training as a teacher, because I'm teaching Spanish. So I'm an instructor for undergraduate course. That's how I get my stipend. That's how I get paid. So the teaching orientation was voluntary. It was optional. You didn't have to go to it. My recommendation for anyone that will be in a teaching role is if this is offered by your school, do take it, especially if you're in your first year. Obviously, if you're in your second, third, and fourth, I still recommend it if you're going to be in a teaching role, but especially in that first year when you're determining what is expected of you, what the guidelines are. For me, I'd never taught undergrad before. I had taught 5 and 6-year-olds. I taught kindergarten before, so completely new environment. I wanted to know the expectations, how to prepare. I definitely recommend attending something like that if it's offered to you. Following the teaching orientation had the new graduate student orientation. This was for anyone pursuing their master's or PhD in their first year. If you were new to the school, we got to know the different resources that are offered on campus. The library came and did a presentation, a couple of different things. You know, you put your email down to receive newsletters and things like that to stay in the loop. Graduate Student Council came to speak to us about events. They had a panel for current students to come and speak on their experience, give their advice. It's always good to hear other people's perspectives and advice that they're giving. That's why I'm doing this now. I think it's good to hear what other people want to share. I think it's really important. They've been in your shoes before. So that was nice to hear. I recommend, again, going to something like that. You get a free t-shirt. So that's nice. And yeah, so those were the two like big training events that we had to go to, lots of meeting people. After the new new student orientation, I met my advisor for the first time. Honestly, if I could go back and do that again, it's hard because as a new student, you don't want to impose on anybody, but I wish I had met my advisor before that, because at that point it was the entire Department of Modern Languages coming together at this lunch, all the new students, and meeting with the advisor, and it was honestly super awkward. It was very uncomfortable, and yeah, I just didn't like it. Personally, I'm more introverted in nature, so my recommendation would be when you do get to wherever it is your university is, maybe try to meet with your advisor and just speak to them prior to all these events, because meeting them for the first time in that setting is overwhelming after being thrown all this information and everything else. And yeah, we had a lunch. I was able to meet other students in the department. After that, I went straight to my Spanish teaching advisor, and I met with her for the first time, and that was okay. It was all the new students meeting her, and we were getting our course schedule, when and where we would be teaching, which was very stressful because at this point it was Wednesday and we were getting this information for the first time, and I'm a prepper, so that was very stressful, but it was good. I met all the people that would be working alongside me in the same position as me. I wish at the time we had exchanged phone numbers and emails right in that meeting. It wasn't until later that we did that, and I think that we should have done it then. We should have exchanged our contact information then, and we should have for the first week, second week. I wish I had taken initiative and said, hey, can we work together? Can we work through this? We're all in the same boat. I think I felt a lot of isolation by myself, planning and prepping during this week 0 for the first week. I felt very on my own. So I think I would have preferred if we had tried to get together and work together. So that would be my advice. If you're meeting people for the first time, make sure you go out of your way and give contact information and you try to work together. Will everyone be receptive to that? No. Everyone has their own preferences, but at least you can say you tried. And I would almost guarantee they'd be willing to work with you because they feel the same way, you know? Everyone wants to kind of, I guess, form a community when you're first getting there and you don't know anybody. So I think that would be a good idea personally. Directly after the meeting where I met my teaching advisor, we went straight to the department meeting with everybody. That was professors, all the graduate students, the chair. I don't think the dean was there, but just about everybody. At that point, I was pretty tired, but the meeting was brief. It was kind of just a refresher for current teachers, honestly, just policy, things like that didn't really relate to new graduate students, but I did have to stand up and introduce myself to everybody. So that was nerve-wracking. I didn't like that. Again, I'm introverted, so just be prepared with your kind of spiel. Also, if you're going to a PhD program, they made me actually say my research interests. And just personally, I think you should have that prepared, that little like about me, hi, my name is, I'm in this program and these are my interests, this is what I would be looking to do. Even if it's something like I'm interested in teaching, that works, okay? But just have that ready. Don't be like, I don't know, because I definitely feel like if you say, I don't know what I'm interested in yet, people kind of, they give you the side eye. Maybe that's just me perceiving that, but just be ready. Be ready if that does come up. So the department meeting went by. We learned kind of how to register for classes. We were told not to register, which was bizarre. I would say in these cases where you're getting all this information thrown at you and there are certain things that make you kind of doubt yourself, my biggest advice would just be stay firm in your own self-confidence and your awareness of what you can handle and how you can do things. For example, I was pretty much discouraged from taking more than 9 credits. I was told like, oh, it's your first semester, take it easy, don't worry about it. But I know myself and I knew what I wanted to do going into the semester, so that made me really doubt myself and think that I wasn't capable, honestly, the way people were speaking about it. I'm really glad that I did register I did 12, which is like the max you can do. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I was more cautious because of what people were telling me, but I think it stressed me out more than it needed to because I was taking that into such like consideration. So just be mindful of that. If you know your limits better than these people do. Of course, their advice is something you should take into consideration. They've been doing this for a long time. They've advised a lot of students. And you can obviously seek out questions. I would ask other people in the program, hey, like, what do you think? Do you think this will be too much? It's totally worth asking, but in the end, it is your decision. And don't be swayed so much by other people's opinions or perspectives, I guess is what I would say. Another big piece of advice I would give during this time, this week before classes, if there is anything you are unsure about going into your first week, ask the question. Ask the question, do not hold back, do not think, oh, I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm doing. If there is something you don't know, are unsure of, need clarification, seek that out. I remember it was the Friday before classes started on Monday, where I was teaching on Monday. I had my first class that I had to teach on Monday. We were in our Spanish teachers meeting. We were all kind of going over policy, what the syllabus should look like, expectations, that sort of thing. And I was sitting there like, I am just not prepared. I'm not prepared for this class. I'm a perfectionist at heart, and I didn't want to mess up. I wanted to make sure I got off on the right foot that first class, because I know from experience that first day sets the tone. I feel so fortunate that there was a professor in the program that after this meeting with the teachers in the Spanish department reached out to all of the new TAs that would be teaching and said, hey, if you guys have any questions, if there is anything you need, like, please let me know. I thank goodness for her all the time, because of course, I kind of had this doubt, like, should I reach out? Like, should I bring awareness to the fact that I don't know what I'm doing? And I just decided, yes, I need to reach out. So I said to her, can you please review with me your syllabus, your policies, anything you do the first day that you would really recommend I do? She actually took the time on a Saturday to meet with me via Zoom, and over an hour, like, explaining everything to me. And I am so grateful for that. I was so relieved after we spoke, after she explained everything to me. And my advice is just that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, hey, I'm new and this is not clear to me, and I just want to clarify that I'm doing this correctly. And that will continually come up throughout your semester, at least your first one, maybe even longer than that. Obviously, I can only speak to what I've done so far, but it's like every day I'm reaching out to a colleague, I'm reaching out to an advisor, I'm reaching out to a professor, and I'm saying, listen, can you please clarify? I just want to be sure that this is correct. And I have not encountered a problem with that since. People are willing to help. You just have to be willing to ask for it. So that would be my big piece of advice in that week 0. Do not, let your insecurities get the better of you. Be confident in who you are and your abilities, and then asking those questions. Ask everyone. It's gonna save you stress in the long run. They know you're overwhelmed. They know they're giving you a lot of information. And week 0, that week before classes, it'll be stressful, it'll be overwhelming. Just flow with it. I know that is so hard to say, because I feel like constantly I was reminding myself through that week, like, it's okay. You're gonna be stressed, but like, just go with it. Like, you can. So I understand if you're encountering that where you're like, I'm so stressed out. It'll pass. It'll mellow out, and it'll be good. So yeah, I wish you all the best of luck if you are finding yourself in your week before classes, or if you're preparing for that. Please let me know if you guys have any additional questions about that week before classes, if there's anything else you would like me to speak about or cover in terms of PhD diaries moving forward. I would love to hear from you guys about what you think and what your thoughts are. So thank you so much for joining me in this video. I hope to see you on the next one.